All right, so let's continue, please. Let's try to answer these questions. All right. So, who wants to answer the first one? What do you think of Chuck Feeney's attitude to money and possessions? And possessions. What do you think of his attitude?
Me, I think it's a great attitude to his part because he helps many people without being recognized. And obviously, many people do the same. I think, for example, Bill Gates, but for he's already famous, so it's much more complicated to recognize him.
Very
So
good. Very good, Jocelyn. Very, very good. So you agree with his attitude, right? Now, the second, in what ways would and wouldn't you support your children if you were a billionaire? In what ways? In what ways would you support or you wouldn't? Hmm? In what ways would you give everything to your children? I want a PlayStation 5. Okay. I want to travel to Hawaii. Okay. I don't want this. I want a pizza. Okay. So in what ways would and wouldn't you support your children? Miss Alejandra, Mr. Kevin, what can you say? I don't know. Okay, and the last one. If you had billions to give away, who or what would you give it to? Who or what would you give it to?
Miss,
Yes.
if I had millions to give away, I will found a charity to the missing dogs and the dogs that live in the streets.
Okay, so you would give it to the animal, to the animals.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
All right. But no one says number two. Nobody? Nobody? Oh, come on. But there are many ways that, well, ways, there are many. I mean, we like for our children to be privileged, right? But we want them also to know what is hard work because nothing is easy to get, right? So if they want, I don't know, a new pair of shoes, and they cost like, I don't know, $700 because they're Snickers, like see tennis shoes, 700 or more dollars. So if you would teach, I think you would teach your children and say, okay, it costs too much. It costs too much. It's just because of the brand, por la marca, or is it because of your friends? But I think we should teach them to analyze and make their own decisions. Even if you have money, you could pay 700 or 1,000 or $10,000 for any type of things. But we have to teach our children to think, to analyze if it's worth it. And if they don't get it, uh, you would explain, okay, this is the factors that I wouldn't buy this, da 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 da, or I would buy this, da 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 da, because I think, well, I'm a mom, and I try to do that with my son, right? I want him to think the pros and cons, if it's worth it or not, Is it too much? Or the quality, he can find better quality in other things. But he has to make a decision because I won't be there all the time. So I have to teach him. And that's what ways would you support your children? Yeah, giving them ways of to analyze. Yeah, and they have to make the decision. And I would provide any type of advices. Yeah, any type for them to think. That's my way of being. And if we have money or not having money, we need to make our children analyze and say yes and no, right? And make their own decisions and not be pressured by TV, friends. So this is mine. This is my answer. And I don't know about you. Yeah, how did your parents maybe teach you to, in what ways, if you are a millionaire or not? But I think your parents also taught you you have to choose well and make good decisions, right? So I don't know, maybe we're there, right? Now let's continue with vocabulary, and this is really interesting because this is an introduction of the IELTS book, yeah, of description of trends. In the IELTS, you have to write about this charts, the cuadritos. You have to write, and you need to know proper vocabulary. So this is just a small introduction of what is going to come in the next book. So it says here, describing trends, tendencies. I don't know. Miss Jocelyn, I know you're an engineer. Alejandra, are you at university too? Mr. Kevin, are you, I think you finished, Mr. Kevin, right? So I don't know if you're in the economy field, I don't know, but any type of careers, you need to know trends, yeah, to demonstrate data or information in numbers, right? Or the tendencies that you're asked for. So in that exercise one says, look at the news headlines. These are good news headlines describing trends. Which trends go up? Which go down? Okay, so let's try to see that. The first one, inflation soars 11%. So inflation for you, does it go up or down? What is inflation? Does it go up or down? Inflation. What do you know? Just tell me.
Up.
Yes, very good. So inflation soar, all that lines is inflation soar. It means going up. Yeah, going up. It says the second says share prices plummet, plummet, plummet. Share prices plummet. Well, maybe it's the first time for you to hear plummet. It means going down. This plummet means going down. Okay. Growth rate picks up again. Only growth rate picks up. What is this? Going up or down? Growth rate picks up. Goes up or down? What do you say? Hello, hello. Up or down, up or down?
Up.
Up.
Yes. Going up. Interest rates to fluctuate but remain broadly stable. Yeah, but aquí first we have interest rates to fluctuate but remain broadly stable. Si está stable, it's like this, right? So it doesn't go near nor up or down. Yeah, interest rates to fluctuate, fluctuar, yeah, so it's constant. Fluctuate, sorry, that goes up, but remains broadly stable. O sea, que es estable. Here, it doesn't go up nor down, or down, yeah? So there's no problem in the third one. The fourth one, house prices set to rocket again. Entonces here, house prices set to rock. Esto, what do you think? Rock, does it mean going up or going down? House prices.
Up?
Yes, 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 very good. Going up. Household debt shoots up by 45%. So this is clear, shoots up, it goes down. I mean, going up. Next one, summer spending collapses. Collapse,
Down.
down, yes. And the next one, applications to UK universities plunge. Plunge, this application means going down. Yeah. So if you check in your dictionaries the meaning of plummet uh, and plunge, they're a type of synonymous, especially in trend description. And one more thing, you cannot you may use going up or going down, but not all the text. That's why you need new vocabulary, right? And this is an exercise for us to use them. Okay, so in exercise 2 says, describe the trends using the words in the boxes. Example, inflation went up sharply by 11%. Entonces aquí he utilizado they went up to the past of go, went up, yeah, 11%. Or there was a dramatic rise there was a dramatic rise in rise, como es siempre going up, rise, was rise, un crecimiento, rise is up, going up, okay? So please describe these trends using the words in the boxes, okay? So please use the chat right now and make sentences using exercise 1 headings to describe the trends using the words in the box. Okay, so you have the verb go down, fall, drop, decrease, go up, rise. Aquí está rise. Increase. The adverbs we have a slightly, gradually, steadily, sharply, dramatically, substantially. Also, we have adjectives. Slightly, gradual, steady, sharp, dramatic, substantial. And nouns, fall, decrease, rise, also rise, increase. O sea, tenemos rise como verbo y aquí como noun. All right, so you can use either, quien cual sea, for this. And then I'll give you the possible answers. Okay? Try to do it, everybody. In the chat, write it there. No quiero que me hablen. I want to see on the chat. So write it. Think. 2 minutes. Because I'll give you what I have in my text for you to compare. In the chat, I want to see the chat. Okay, so I have one here that is, oh, okay, Miss Alejandra. So you have house prices dramatically rise again. Okay, then we have share price go down dramatically. Yeah, still vayan haciendo más. The rest, Mr. Kevin, Miss Itzel, ¿cuántos somos? Miss Paola. Yeah, los tres. I wanna see. Ladies, you can also do it. But for everybody, Miss Jocelyn, you should have to show for everybody to compare. Yeah, because I'll give you an alternative also. The rest, Miss Pa, or are you dancing right now in the festival of La Diablada? Okay, so we have, okay, thank you, Miss Jocelyn. The rest, otra vez, holy. My goodness. My. So I only have 2 students in the class. Fine, I can work with that. Thank you for doing your work. We have Miss Paola. Growth rate gradually increase. Again, we're gonna check the grammar part here. Okay, so now I have 3 students in class. Growth rate rise gradually. All right. Okay, I want to see your options. Okay, that's it. Anything else using exercise 1 headings, sorry. All right, I think it's enough time. Thank you for working. So let's do this. The one let me show you how I have in my text. And it could be possible or you could change it. Don't forget about the tenses, los tiempos. If we're talking about past, present, like that. But they're headings, así que no hay problema. We can say there was a dramatic fall in share prices. There was a dramatic fall in share prices. Okay, that's the first one. Aquí está. There was a dramatic fall in share prices. Dramatic fall. Then we have growth rate increased again. Growth is a growth rate increased again. Then we have house prices are due to rise dramatically again. So household prices are due to rise due to rise dramatically again. Then we have, there has been a sharp rise in household debt. Deuda. So their household debt shoots up, ¿no? Todo esto estoy utilizando. There has been, por eso los tiempos. There has been a sharp rise in household debt. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, just a second, please. Okay, let's continue. Household debt. Then we have consumer spending collapses. So consumer spending has dropped dramatically. Yeah. And the last one, I'm going to write it here. Applications to UK universities have fallen. I don't know. Have. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Have fallen substantially. Substantially. Yeah. So there's a mixture of all these description rules, right? To say the same headings. The problem that I see is the tenses, tiempos. But I always have to I have to read the context to understand what tense. Tiempos, tiempos, tiempos. Okay? So what you have to do using all of this, it says look at the graph showing spending on new cars by age group. Discuss this trend and try to explain them. So this is the graph, spending on new cars by age group. And we have average annual expenditure, son gastos, and age of consumers. Yeah. Discuss trends. So now this trend, it moves it goes to a high point from maybe 25 years old to 750, I don't know, the average here. And between 30 and 40 years old, it fluctuates a bit and then rises to the top around maybe 55 and continues to drop. Yeah, it drops. So here, this is the study of the graph. Yeah, and that is how I have to explain this graph. No puedo decir goes up, va hacia arribita, and then a little bit down, and then a little bit up, and then a little bit. No, you have all of this adjectives and nouns to help you explain. And there's the part ahí vienen como, no, why? That is advanced level. How to use it. Okay. So it says here, spending on new cars rise. We have an introduction of this chart. Spending on new cars rises sharply. Sharply is really fast. Sharply when people are in their 20s. ¿Están en sus 20s? Yes, they are in their 20s. and presumably starting work. Presuming to be. Van a ver que a veces hay que poner comentarios, a veces no. Because we don't care. There's been a slight fall, ligero, slight fall until, ustedes, now you continue again in this chat and you have to explain all of this. So I think my 3 students that are here can work here and we're gonna check because again, I will show you, we're gonna hear and compare, but I wanna see in the chat room you're writing. Okay, so please try to explain. Don't write this anymore. Ya no van a escribir esto. Okay, so just continue of what you see here. Please start. Please start. 5 minutes. In the chat room, please. All right, so we have one that is from Jocelyn. Then let's continue. There's then a slight fall until they reach 55 years old, where it grows again, and by 80s, it falls like when they were in their 30s directamente. I think because it will have more, because they will have, or yeah, with their families. Okay, all right. Anybody else? Anybody else? We have 9 minutes. So fast. because I have to give you the answer for you to analyze and see how the trends move. Okay, Ms. Alejandra. So there's then a slight fall until there's then until the 30s and stay the same until their 40s. Okay. Nada más? All right. Okay. So because of time, I'm going to write it here. This text. Okay. So for you to analyze at home for this weekend, because we're going to do things like this. A ver. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There's then a slight fall until, sería aquí, until midlife. When there is a steady increase in people in their 40s and 50s buying new cars, perhaps men having their midlife crisis, spending then drops back again to level of for 70-year-olds before plunging sharply after people turn 80, when people are probably not so bothered about what they drive if they're still driving at all. This is the tape script of the listening, but I wanted to write to analyze it. Okay. So midlife is around, yeah, like your 30s or more, when there is a steady increase in people in their 40s and 50s. Yeah, so it starts for buying a new car, perhaps men having their midlife crisis. Right? Oh, that want everything to be, they think they're young. And continue, says spending the drop, spending then drops back again to level off for 70-year-olds before plunging sharply after people turn 80, when people are probably not so bothered about what they drive if they are still driving at all. Yeah, if they're driving at all. So this is the explanation of this chart. We're going to listen, of course, on Monday this. I want you to see it and analyze. Here to this point, right, has been explained. First of all, starting work by the 20s. Then there's slight fall. No, there's then a slight fall, esa caidita, until midlife, hasta entrar a este tiempo, 40s, ¿no? Midlife, when there's a steady increase. O sea, esto es steady, permanente, steady increase, hasta aquí, steady increase in people in their 40s and 50s buying new cars. Aquí buying new cars, and this is an opinion maybe because it's the man's midlife crisis, maybe. And then from that point, from that peak, pico, spending then drops back again. Nuevamente, drop again to level of for 70-year-olds. People speak to 70-year-olds before plunging, otra vez, sharply, caer sharply after people turn 80, when people are probably not so bothered. O sea, ya no les importa bother about what they drive. If they are still driving, todavía pueden seguir manejando. And this is a very common way to describe this type of trends. But there will be types that you really formal that cannot give opinion. You just have to explain what is on the chart, and that's it. And using all those words, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and the and the tenses correctly. So please just write it down. I don't know, point it somewhere, but we're going to use it here in this exercise for vocabulary. Also in the writing using graphs, yeah, on Monday. So, well, do you have any questions? I don't know. Anything? Don't be scared. We're just going to use them. Yeah, and we need to um, work with these words because it's going to sound better, the description. And don't use all the time go down, or go up, up, up. No, you have to be familiar with them. All right. So thank you, students. Have a great weekend. I hope you do your things, and I want you to participate. I don't know how. And see you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, Miss.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Miss.
Bye. Bye. Bye bye.